And we are live on the Icecast Live. Good evening. My name is Shane Chebsey, and on my right is Mr. Sam Morgan, let out of his cupboard yet again. All right, Sam, how you doing?
Hello, Shane. Good to see you. I'm still in my cupboard, but I've been let out yet again. You know, this joke has been going on for a whole year.
It has been, hasn't it? A year now. We've been
Why
doing
is that,
this.
Shane? What's today?
Today is a year since we started doing the Icecast, pretty much.
Hey!
Yes. It was a few days ago, actually, but today is the sort of anniversary show.
Icecast.
Happy birthday to us. 1 year
of
the Icecast Live. Nah, they don't want to hear us sing.
Okay.
Now, we are dedicating this episode, though, to a dear departed friend of ours who was on the first episode of the Icecast Live. Mr. Kevin Jackson, who was an amazing writer, and also one of the most lovely people I've ever met. We sadly lost him this past year, and we're all, really, really saddened by it. But there's a lot to celebrate in the work that he did over the years. He did some amazing books, and I do believe you've got a little clip, haven't you, Sam, from the first episode?
Yes, I've dug into our archives. And here is the very first couple of minutes of the very first Icecast, exactly a year ago today. And as you will see, we were pretty much bad then. I've managed. See if you can spot the amount of mistakes I make in literally the first couple of minutes. Anyway, here we go. This is the Icecast 1 year ago today.
YouTube. We are live for the first time on the very first Icecast. And, well, it's almost the very first. We did do a little pilot episode with Charlie Adlard the other week, which went really well. But I forgot to press the go switch. So we did the first sort of 10 minutes without knowing that nobody's watching us. But this time, well, nobody's watching us yet, but they can. We've got one viewer. Hello to our one viewer. Say hello in the comments. So, this is the Icecast, and with me tonight are my co-hosts. On my right is Mr. Andrew Richmond. Say hello, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
Hey, that's original. And beneath me is Mr. Ollie McNamee. Say hello, Ollie.
Hello, Shane.
Hey, how you doing, guys? You all right?
Very good.
Excellent. Thank you so much for assisting me. Well, you'll be doing all the work, actually. You'll be doing all the work. I'm just going to sit here and watch. And tonight on the Icecast, on our very first one, we have two very special guests. First up, I'd like to introduce the artist of the book that we're going to be promoting tonight, and that is Mr. Hunt Emerson. Welcome to the Icecast, Hunt. Hello.
Hello, Shane. Hello, everybody.
Hey. Hello, Hunt.
Hi, Ollie. Hi, Andrew.
Great to have you. Great to have you here, Hunt. Nice to see you again.
It's interesting to be here.
Well, we've already had some shenanigans off broadcast, haven't we? With Sam's, I think it's Sam's wife coming home and dragging him off while he was trying to sort out the tech. So that was fun.
Who's Sam? Who's Sam?
Yeah, Sam. Sam's not real. He doesn't exist. He's in the background. And the second guest we'd like to welcome on tonight, if Sam can do the job and get him on the screen, is Mr. Kevin Jackson. Hello, Kevin.
Yay.
Hey, Shane. Hey.
Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Hunt.
Hello.
Now, Kev, you've not met my other two co-hosts, have you, Mr. Andrew Richmond?
I fear not.
No, and Ollie McNamee. These are the guys that do all the hard work and all the research and probably ask better questions than me. So they'll be yeah. Well, I bloody hope so. Anyway, so I'd like to say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you, Kevin and to Hunt, for being guests tonight. It's really great to have you here with us. We hope that it's not been too complicated getting online.
Not for me.
Yep.
Ooh.
For me.
And we're here primarily tonight to, before we get into anything else, to talk about your new book that you guys have got coming out, which is entitled, what's it entitled?
Lives of the Great Occultists.
Yes, and it's a sort of a culmination. There we go. There was a couple of little
the
boo-boos there,
memories.
wasn't there? Oh,
Yes.
and it's very moving actually to see Kevin again. Then, yeah. So we generally we do dedicate this show to the memory of Kevin Jackson, who we all love very much. And thank you to Hunt as well for coming on to that show, our very first Icecast Live. And yeah, it was great, wasn't it, mate?
Many years to come. Right.
Yes.
Let's get on with today's one.
So,
then, Shane.
yes, this week we have some really cool guests on. Mr. Grayham Puttock and Mr. Adam Jakes, who have teamed up to create a pretty fierce, creepy, nasty comic called LONGPIG, and the title might give you a clue as to what it's about. And it's gorgeous. It's really, really nicely done, and I'm really looking forward to speaking to him about it. So let's play that VT, Sam, and get onto it. And welcome back to the Icecast, and welcome Adam, and welcome Grayham. Good evening, guys.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hi, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Are you well? Are you well? Are you good?
Very
Yes,
well,
thank
very
you.
good, thanks. Yeah.
Excellent. We didn't put welcome Adam or welcome Grayham because, Sam would probably get it the wrong way around. So we just thought the name tags would be fine, Sorry, Sam. So we're here tonight to talk about LONGPIG, which is, I believe, at the moment you are promoting the second issue. Is that right, Grayham?
That's right. Yeah, the second issue is currently on Kickstarter for about another couple of weeks. Yeah, and I know that Adam is turning out fantastic pages for issue 3 at the moment.
Right.
And I just delivered the rough draft, the first draft of issue 4 to Adam a few days ago. So yeah, it's all going ahead really well.
Excellent. It's always good to have that sort of confidence in a Kickstarter, isn't it? I mean, I know sometimes you go onto a Kickstarter and it's like, oh, it's a 5-issue series. And I always worry sometimes with some of the indie guys that, they're not going to get to the end of that 5-issue series. But you got a good track record. I mean, how long have you guys, each of you, I'll start with you, Grayham, been sort of self-publishing your own stuff? Grayham, when did you start?
A little over 10 years, maybe. I was trying to find my first self-published comic. I did a series called Love and Ammunition about John Lennon, which was terrible. But yeah, I think I did that a little over a decade ago, and right. Paid for the printing myself. Took it around to various shows. Sold 3, 4, and it was really awful, but it was really good fun.
Yeah. We don't do it for the sales, do we? Well, not initially, anyway. It's I mean, if you get into self-publishing to get rich, you're probably not in the.
Oh yeah, still not doing it for the sales at all.
Yeah, doing it for the love, definitely. And Adam, now we were just talking offline before. About when we first met, and I remember a book that I think you self-published called Whatever. Does that ring a bell?
It does, yeah. That was quite some years ago now. Yeah, I mean, prior to that, there was a mini series called Floyd. When I was sort of experimenting with stuff, that was sort of like early 20s. I think Whatever happened.
Well, you were in your early 20s. It was in the early 20s.
No, I'm not.
You're not that old, are you, mate?
Not quite. No. No, I was very young and didn't really know what I was doing. and I sent it off to Diamond Distribution, and they picked it up. And I think they distributed the first 3 issues and then just cancelled it. And then also, so I think I was probably 23, 24, something like that.
So we're talking early 90s, aren't we? Then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a time when Diamond. I remember because I got some things into Diamond, and I remember back then Diamond would take a chance on a lot of stuff, wouldn't they? It was quite a good, because comic sales in general it was before the crash, and everything was boom. You got million selling Marvels, million selling Image comics, and so the small press benefited from that because even a small press book could sell 3,000 copies quite easily back then, and you can sort of tick on.
Yeah, they were more willing to take a punt on small press, weren't they?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it was a good time actually. The only thing was back then we didn't have the technology really to do it as good as maybe we could do it today. Printing was really expensive. Digital printing was in its infancy.
I think had there been sort of Facebook and Instagram around back then, it might have been a different story as well. Just for promotion tools, because it was all about literally putting it in an envelope and sending it off.
That was it.
Yeah, submissions.
You totally relied on it. You relied on Diamond, didn't you? If Diamond had it, you were okay. Well, you might be okay. If Diamond didn't have it, forget it. You just had like one comic convention a year, if you were lucky, to go and sell it at.
Yeah. No,
so you take all your stock to that one convention.
Yeah. No, it's changed an awful lot, and I say the quality of the printing and the affordability of the printing in full colour. I never thought I'd be able to produce a book in full colour like we have done, or I have done in the last sort of 5 or 6 years, and to have that, it actually looks fantastic, and that is to me what it's all about. It's just that grade of paper and the finish and everything. Really, it just looks like it should do.
Well, it enables you to like show your work how you want it to be shown.
Yeah,
doesn't it? It's from the page to the print. There's less of a difference. I mean, that was one of the skills of the old comic artists, was they knew how to create artwork that would look good in print because print was so shit. So the artwork was made, so graphic and so vibrant so that it would look good in 4-color print on, newsprint. And of course, we all fell in love with that. And now we still people recreate that effect because of nostalgia. But then it was just necessity. But obviously now one of the other things...
Shane, you also had... I mean, the fact is they had limitations. They only had 4 colors. So they were encouraged by the limitations of just having 4 colors and having to show things with not having the range that they have today. It's kind of art benefits from limitations, I think. And that's why I think those 4-color comics back then really were amazing and stand the test of time because they didn't have everything we have today. But doesn't mean you can't make great stuff today. But that's the thing.
It just opens up. It just opens up opportunities, doesn't it? And of course, one of those other great opportunities, I was getting to a point, is that now we have Kickstarter as well, which enables people to create their own books from pretty much scratch as long as they can build an audience. And that's what you guys have done with this book. You've gone down the Kickstarter route.
Yeah.
And it looks as though, I mean, so far, book 1 did well. It looks like book 2's doing equally well so far.
We're well on the way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been slower, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's issue 2. It always, you got to expect it's always a bit of a fight. The second issue, but we'll have a look at it anyway. The Kickstarter, and we will have a look at the book a little bit as well in a minute. So that's number 1, Sam.
That's number 1. It was really well received. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it did really well, didn't it? Yeah. I mean, to get on your first comic, was it 123 backers? That's pretty good.
Like that. Yeah. We're really pleased with that. Yeah.
And I think, I mean, obviously, it's a great idea. It's as soon as you sort of get a feel for what it's about, you want to read it. You know, it's like, well, how are they going to do this? How far are they going to take this concept? You know, is it going to be really gross? And of course, you've got the artwork there as well. The artwork is absolutely beautiful.
Stunning.
Adam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. It really is. And I can see that in some of the photos that you share on the other campaign that you set up a lot of like the action, like with reference shots and characters and things like that. How much was that really time consuming? I mean, most people, they draw a comic page, it might take them a couple of days, but it must have taken quite a while. There must be a lot of work going into setting up all those shots and getting people to pose and all that sort of thing.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I do work solely from photo reference now. Everything, backgrounds. I just like the characterizations. I just feel it humanizes the characters a lot more. But no, I mean, a photo shoot can take sort of 20 minutes. You get all the guys in and say, look, this is the scene. Do your thing. This is my rough idea. Everyone kind of gets at it. You take 100 or so photographs, just literally spinning around, taking them. I put them on my tablet, and then that's it. They're all, and then it's just a case of, I mean, I know what I'm going to draw roughly on the page anyway, so then I just sort of work it out, and it probably takes, I don't know, 12, 16 hours, so maybe 2 days.
Right. So what you're saying then is that as long as you sort of plan in advance a little bit and you know what you want, it actually speeds up the process.
Yeah, I mean, with Grayham scripts, I mean, I get it with a few other scripts as well. It's so descriptive that it actually starts, just triggering off in your brain as you read it, and you can sort of start seeing it. So you can see what scene you want, where the camera is going to be. So you kind of just got an instinct for it. So you get a shoot. Yeah, people are sometimes ill, and trying to get 3 or 4 people in the same room at the same time, especially last year, was incredibly tricky. And a lot of the reference in book 1 was done remotely. So it was just me sort of saying, look, can you do this? This is the script. This is the concept. Can you? And everyone sort of came through.
Right.
But now it's nice. You'll see in book 2.
I think there's websites for that where you tell people what to do over webcams.
Really? No.
They're all a certain type, though, Sam. You know what I mean?
So I've got a question about doing photo references. Would you have the same person doing the same reference, or could you have different people doing the reference for that particular character? Is it the person or the action?
It's the person. It's always the same person. I mean, sometimes you have to sort of doctor heads and put heads on other bodies and such like. But that doesn't happen all the time. But no, it's always because people move in such different ways. Just from holding a pencil, people do it differently, and that adds to the character. And if you can sort of get that through on the page, then I think that gives that character so much more sort of emphasis, I think, sort of humanity. So yes, it's always the same person. So the people you see in the book, they've literally signed up for the next sort of, I don't know, couple of years to help me out with this project.
I was going to say, I don't know what spell Adam has got these people, what he's got over them, but they're amazing. It's like, I've got no fear of putting anything in the comic because I think Adam will get them to do it. Yeah. And it's as much acting as it is modeling, I think. They've been fantastic.
They have, yes.
A few years ago, Benjamin Dixon was doing a story, I think, in Accent UK, and I knew him from Bristol, and he came over, and I spent like half a day taking photos of me doing a zombie apocalypse. So, I was standing in the middle of the road in Bristol, pretending to hold a gun, shooting at zombies. And it was really, really good fun. And then when I saw it afterwards, I was like, well, that is me. I think maybe he wanted to use me because he knew I had a house. So he knew the house, lots of photographs of the house. But it was really good fun. So I'm sure it's good fun, the shoots for your and
it does give a great quality as well to the art. If you're when you're looking for that sort of realism of mannerisms and acting and facial expressions, when you want to achieve that, and I think it's suitable as well for this story.
Absolutely, it's a character story. So the fact that Adam has, what the better phrase, brought these people to life, and there's a lot of expression work. There's a lot of conversations they have. So yeah, Adam's style works perfectly for it.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a comment. What we got? Like Degas and his ballerinas. Well, that's quite a compliment, isn't it?
Oh,
wow.
So smart.
One of my favourite painters of all time, Degas. Wow, that is a compliment. Would you say that was a fair comparison, Adam?
Yes. Why not? Let's go with that.
Hi, Lucy. Thanks for coming on board. Nice to see you again. Lucy actually does come onto the show sometimes as a co-host and help us out as well. And Andy, I should mention actually that Andy, our other co-host, who I think we all know, has become a dad for the third time in his life. So congratulations, Andy, if you're watching.
Congratulations, mate.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Wow. You know, a dad. I think he's 50. Ooh. But he's so happy. I'm so happy for him. It's fantastic. So
well done, Andy. I mean, you know.
Well done. Let's have a look at some of the artwork, Sam. Let's put the
Okay.
Now, are we allowed to show a few pages here, guys? We don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, I mean, show ahead. I don't think you've got access to any great spoilers, have you?
That's all right.
I mean, certainly from the first comic, there's.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, I've read it, and at the start, it really does a good job of introducing the characters and sort of giving you hints at their relationships. And I think that's a really important part of any sort of genre story, well, any story really, but to establish those sort of real world relationships and quirks of the relationships before you sort of get into the action, as it were, because you just have a little bit more feeling for the characters then, wouldn't you say, Graham?
Yeah, I mean, it was what we were going for is we want you to get to know this family. We want you to care about this family and sort of enjoy their interactions. At the same time, you realize they're not great people in many ways.
They're really not. I mean, there's just there's no sense of any remorse that I can detect, or they are absolutely like the worst of the worst, aren't they?
This is how they live.
I know that. I recognise that, Carrie. I recognise that.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the very worst people I've ever created, and Adam felt drawn to that. Pardon the pun. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great that we can see this. And Adam, do you do the color art as well, or do you get someone else to do that?
No, that's from Aliosa Tomic from Serbia or Bosnia, somewhere like that. Yeah, I worked with him. I met him through Chris Sides, and we did here and there. And I've worked with him a few times on sort of pin-ups and covers and things. And I just asked him if he'd be up for it, and he would, and he did, and he produced that. And he loves it. He's really taken it under his wing, and he sort of created it and made it his own. And I think he's really brought my lines to life. I think we really do work well together, and he just sort of he understands that kind of that realism. He loves his horror as well. And again, I communicate with him quite a lot over Messenger, again, social media and stuff. I think it's very helpful. So and we sort of do that, and then I sort of kind of say, look, I kind of want this feel, and he'll just go, I've done this, and he'll crack out about 6 pages in an afternoon, and literally just and I mean, he's professional. He's working for DC. He's working for a lot of the bigger companies and some of the smaller ones as well. Yeah. And he just come on board with this, and he just absolutely loves it, and he does it in his spare time. And I mean, his colours are
Yeah, they're great.
Are
I love
breathtaking.
I love them. I love the textures as well.
Yeah.
You know, on the scene, there's a scene earlier on. I mean, Sam's whizzed through this, but there's a scene where there's a scene where the girl's drawing in the park.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the back garden. It's in the park, isn't it? And there's all this light from the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like how that's been done. There's a lot you can it gives you a sense of what time of day it is and what the atmosphere is like. And
That's it. It's just sort of the heat, you know, and it's a hot, humid sort of day. You know, so you know, you just really just brings an awful lot to it. And I sort of, again, we just give him free rein.
Colorist again?
Alias Tomish.
Right.
It's fantastic work. Yeah. It's
So
really amazing.
Oh, he's fit and broody. Who are you talking about, Lucy? She's always on the pull on here. She's always chatting up the guests. I don't know.
I think this has been quite remarkable for me as well, because I normally do everything myself when I make comics. I draw them and do everything. So being part of a band, being in the band is just incredible. And as you can say, you know, Adam's artwork is amazing, but then you've got yet another layer when the color comes in. It's just, and you know, and Ken Reynolds' lettering as well is terrific.
I was going to ask you the letterer was, it is really decent.
Yeah, not
lettering.
the colorist. Lucy doesn't think the colorist is fit. The guy with the bat is fit.
Oh right, okay.
There we go.
Thank you, Lucy. I'm sure the guy with the bat is very happy about that.
I'll pass it on.
Yeah. We just had another comment. You did show it earlier, Sam, but I'll just read it out. From Lyndon Webb, another artist. Great art. Love the feel of Arthur Ransom, but is very distinctive. The colours make the art sing even more.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Lyndon. I mean, Lyndon's a great artist himself, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, Arthur Ransom. That's a fair comparison, I guess.
I will take that as a compliment because he's somebody I've studied for a long time. So,
would you say someone who's an influence then?
Very much so. I mean, that whole realism. I mean, Button Man is still stands out as something. I still go back to it and look at his. You know, the cover is fantastic, and it's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Button Man, or from now on, the story that ripped off Squid Games.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that, aren't you? From some.
Oh, Button Man, that's his Squid Game.
Yeah, it always happens, you know. It always happens. Yeah. You can't get out of it, can you? But it's great stuff, guys. And so yeah, we've got the credits there. We could have found out ourselves, couldn't we? So yeah, you're going back to
the Abbott and Costello joke reference in the chapter.
Absolutely, yeah. All my references are old man references. You won't hear no Squid Games from me. It's all old man references.
Going back to you, Graham, we were talking earlier about how you're also an artist. What made you decide to bring in another artist to do the book? Was it purely practical, or was it the desire to do something a little bit different visually?
Well, it was. I mean, I first started chatting with Adam when he brought out Here and There, which I think was a great book. I really enjoyed that. And we were chatting about Dogjaw, which was the series I was doing at the time. And Adam said, look, you know, if you want anything done, because he works like a machine, the man never stops. And he said, if you want anything done, any sketches or anything, he'd be happy to do it. And there was a part of Dogjaw issue 4, yeah, which was a bit of backstory. And I thought it might be quite fun to get Adam in to do that, because our art styles are similar. There's a lot of differences, but they fit well together. And he did an amazing job. It's one of my favorite scenes from the whole series, and I didn't even draw it. And And then I had this, and I think Adam enjoyed doing it.
Very much so, yeah.
And asked me if I had anything else. And I had this idea sitting in a drawer. I don't know if it's relevant. I wrote the first issue of LONGPIG on holiday in Spain, where my wife and I had gone on holiday by mistake to Lloret de Mar, which is a hole.
By mistake? What, you got on the wrong plane or something?
We kind of went to, well, no, we just picked a resort that was cheap and thought it would be okay. And we were far too old for it. So we sit on our balcony at night watching the drunks and the pushers and the working girls. And I sat there and I wrote the first issue of LONGPIG. And whether that's got any relevance to like people being meat or I don't know. And then the plan was one day I might get around to drawing it myself. And then just put it away. So when Adam asked me if I had anything, I thought I'd see how he gets on with this, and that was it really. He liked it and drew it in record time. And
that's always good, isn't it? When someone can turn something around. Like honestly, Adam, it is you're worth your weight in gold if you can do that for an editor or a writer. It's being quick and good. It's it's very valuable. Question from Lucy, which you may have already partially answered: is it weird not drawing it, or is it refreshing?
It's not as weird as I thought it would be. I was a little bit not anxious, almost a little bit jealous when Adam's first pages started coming in, because I thought he's doing this really well. Not that I wanted him to mess up, but I'd seen it in my head in a certain way, which would be my style, and then Adam took it and made it his style, but it was my story, and it just looked great. And now when I'm writing it with the way Adam draws, and it's really good. It's very different, because when I write my own scripts, I don't write very much at all. I just write a few words down and then get on with the drawing. But having to write proper scripts is something I'm sort of learning to do. But it's good fun.
So you do full script then? It's because some writers, if they know the artist pretty well and they have a good communication, they might just give a plot and then dialogue it afterwards. Do you find it easier just to do a full sort of descriptive script? So do you direct a lot?
No, I try not to, because I completely trust Adam to. He's a brilliant storyteller, so I know he's going to get it and he's going to tell it. It's mostly dialogue what I send him, really, just locations, dialogue, sort of important things like character A gets a pie in the face or whatever. But they're not Alan Moore scripts.
I did notice that it is very, well, at least what I've read so far, is very dialogue driven, and you tell a lot of the story through the dialogue. Which is quite challenging, actually. There's not a lot of exposition in there, yet we're still able to understand what's going on.
I hope so.
Is that a conscious choice? Did you decide, from the beginning, I want to tell this story, predominantly through the dialogue?
I kind of, they're in my head talking all the time. These characters, and I do like them talking to each other. I really enjoy that. So I mean, I watch a lot of movies. I read a lot of comics, but I watch a lot of movies, and I like dialogue that gives you something but doesn't give you everything, and you have to work a little bit. It's a joy to write, really, and then knowing that it's going into safe hands, it's brilliant.
Yeah. So we've got a little look at issue 2 here via the Kickstarter. Go on, Adam. No, I mean not Adam. Sam, commit.
Yes, sorry. So we've got the actual live Kickstarter here for number 2, and you're so close to
so close.
Yeah. It's definitely going to get there, isn't it? That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got 16 days. So you're gonna walk.
There we go. Look, 16 days left, and only wow, you're looking at what? $60 easy.
$60, right?
Yeah. Mum.
Mum, come and pledge this book about cannibals.
Yeah. It's really wholesome fun, Mum.
That's a great cover. Look at
that's
that.
a lovely. I assume that is the cover image, is it? Or is
That
it
is,
just
yeah,
visual
it's
image?
beautiful. Yeah,
It's fantastic. There's so much story in that image. That's why I love that. I love when you get a cover like that just makes you want to ask questions about who they are, what they're doing there, what the character. It just evokes lots of sort of questions in your mind. And these characters are just, they're despicable people, but they're really interesting.
yeah,
yeah. And that's the challenge, isn't it? It's making you care about bad people.
Absolutely.
That's the challenge, isn't it?
It's part of what I promised myself was like, I didn't want this to be. I love horror. I love horror films, stories, but
who's that? I know that. See that person?
Presumed eaten.
Because it's about cannibalism, I didn't want to go down any route that I knew had been done before. So they weren't going to be mutants, and they weren't going to be Hannibal Lecter and that kind of ego thing. I wanted them to seem to be an ordinary, close, loving family who have this awful side to them. But it's their nature. Whether I don't know whether as readers you can forgive that. Well, that we'll find out, I guess. But
that's the thing, isn't it? It challenges you, because how often do you read something? If you've got like a main protagonist in a story and you really like that protagonist, and then they do something really morally questionable. It's really, it makes you you struggle with it a little bit, don't you? But these guys, right off the bat, you're asking the readers to follow them, to care about them. And they're not just, it's not just morally questionable, is it? They're out and out evil.
Graham, what is your interest in cannibalism then? What? I mean,
that's gonna be the best question ever asked on this show.
What made you want to write about cannibalism?
I think we should try everything in this short life.
Don't knock it till you
try,
try,
isn't it? You should try everything except for incest and something else.
Oh God! Can we not go down this road?
Try everything.
We've got some questions from the viewers. Let's get. It's Lucy again. So, Adam, did you dive in, or we're not talking about the cannibalism? Did you dive in, or did you want notes on characters? Oh, that's an interesting question.
I think when I read the script, I kind of had an idea in my head who I would use to kind of play those characters. I don't think anything was really specified, was it? Character traits as such. I think upon reading the script and on drawing them, I think that their characters soon started to evolve just through the models that I used. You could see they had certain characteristics, and you could sort of play on that. And I think that's the characters start to evolve quite quickly from the models themselves. And you can tell so much from the dialogue, the way they talk to each other. Who's the serious one? Who's the one that messes about? Who's who's taking it seriously or not? It's very much in the dialogue there for you to extrapolate and sort of hopefully present.
Well, the one who scares me the most is the young girl. She's just
she's a dreamboat.
She is. I think that's why she's so scary.
Yeah,
she's like she appears to be innocent and harmless. I mean, I've just read the first issue, and that you just know that guy that she meets in the park is not. It's not going to end well for him, is it?
Oh, we can't say. We can't possibly comment on that. I think the one you should be scared of is Rover, the one modelled by Adam.
Yeah, right.
And it scares me slightly that Adam's taken on that persona. It's
so easily. It comes so naturally.
yeah, just slip it on like a second skin.
I think it was more necessity. I think it was the I forget who you because Graham suggests people who he, for famous actors that he could use for certain characters, and I forget who you suggested. But it wasn't a million miles. I mean, it was he had a sort of long grey hair and a moustache and stuff.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I can't remember the guy's name now.
No. And I thought, well, that's a close enough fit. I'll go along with that. And then as things have, I mean, because I often use myself just because it's one less character to find, and it's easy for me to do a lot of reference at home and selfies and such. And I know exactly what I want, so I can just. It's not vanity; it's just practicality. And as it's sort of progressed, I've realised that Rover, my character, is something of rather a bad man. So that's quite fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to finding out just how bad. Actually, it's. I mean, it's a great first issue because it really sets the scene. You get to meet the family. You get to meet, the guy who's after them, as it were, who seems like a bit of a. I've forgotten the character's name now from Dracula. The guy
a bit of a Van Helsing.
A Van Helsing figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just went then.
That's good. I like that.
Because he seems as driven, and even we don't see much, but just from the scenes that we see, you think to yourself, this guy's as dangerous as they are. This guy is probably as morally questionable as they are. He just happens to be on the other side of the fence, if you like. Would you say I've read that right?
Absolutely, I think that's precisely what we're after. So that's perfect. Yeah, it's again, I guess it goes back to like the family have this side of their nature that is awful. They eat people, they kill and eat people, but they also have their good side, and the good guys, I suppose, are also driven, are also out for revenge. They have a lot of rage. So yeah, I want to. I've just read that. Yeah, I want to explore that. Yeah,
I found the quote.
Yes, thank you, Sam. That was very good. I really like those sort of stories because they make you think about morality and all that sort of thing, and they make you look inward a little bit. So if you're that way inclined, obviously some people will enjoy it just for what it is on the surface. But I always find myself, when you have these morally ambiguous characters on both sides, that you start to sort of question your own morals a little bit. And I like that in a story. I like that it's got that element to it. I think that's what I love so much about Dracula. Is the fact that Dracula and Van Helsing are both crazy. Van Helsing probably more so. In fact, Dracula knows what he wants. He's quite calculating. He's just evil. But Van Helsing, he's absolutely off his rocker. And I really like that. I like that the good guys can be so flawed. And these characters all seem. The good guys seem more flawed, if you like. When you take away the fact that the main protagonists are evil. They're just evil. They can't help it.
It's like that fable about the scorpion and the frog, where the scorpion says to the frog, "Will you take me over the river?" And the frog says, "No, because you'll sting me." And he said, "No, I promise I won't." And then halfway across, the scorpion, of course, stings the frog, and the frog says, "Now we're both going to drown. Why did you do that?" And the scorpion says, "It's my nature. I'm a scorpion." And I like that story, and I like it because it makes me sad for the scorpion, because I think it must halfway across that river all the way, he's fighting what he is because he knows he'll drown if he does this, but he's got to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Now, if I was a psychologist,
some people are irredeemable.
Are they? I mean, that's a really interesting angle that you look at it from the story as well, because
absolutely.
And it's interesting, Graham, that you empathise more with the scorpion.
Oh, yeah,
I would
frog-
be interested
that's
to know.
what-
I would be interested to know what.
Is the complex nature of the scorpion's inner psyche. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I just
I'm
think
there
that
weeping for this frog, and
Yeah,
you're
the poor old
consider-
frog. Fuck the frog. He's just weak.
no, the frog's a dick. He knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But the scorpion has to fight and loses
Yeah.
and loses that
And
particular
I think
fight.
that's a really interesting angle, and I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it and looking at stories. And I think it says a lot about you as well.
Oh,
and
dear.
about, you know, I'm not casting any aspersions,
Yeah.
but obviously you feel that that
I mean-
sort of that empathy, if you like, with the scorpion's plight, and that says a lot for those for those sort of stories.
His
Like how
plight,
many
yeah.
his plight for
But
redemption. if you
everyone
like.
always prefers the villains, though, don't they? You know, the
Yeah.
Joker
They do,
is a
because we
lot
see
more
that.
interesting than Batman.
I think that's
Thanos
why
is
we love
vastly
villains.
more interesting than
Yeah,
the Avengers.
because we're looking for
Goody two-shoes
redemption.
Captain America.
We're looking for redemption stories. We're looking for redemption in ourselves, aren't we? Can we? If that person can have good in them, so can we. It's really compelling. We've got a question here. Where are we? The villain question is for all four of you. Oh, okay. There's another question before it. Where are we? Okay. What sort of villain would you want to be? Okay, we'll start with Adam. What sort of villain would you like to be?
I don't know.
I'm more of a frog myself.
Yeah, something interesting with guns. I don't know. I quite like the hitman character. I think like Leon, stuff like that. I love that sort of, very loner, very just killing for money. Whatever. Just guns and I think the hitman. There you go. That'd do.
Yeah, good one. Good one.
That was sort of sprung on me a bit there. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I think that was the idea, to get that sort of stream of consciousness instant. What about you, Graham? You've had time to think. What sort of villain would you like to be?
I think I'm trying to think what he's called. Is it Scaramanga? The man with the golden gun. He's got an island. He's got a servant.
And he's got a third nipple.
And he's got a third nipple. Yeah. I think it's something like a suave kind of. Yeah.
And he's sort of, he's got a reason for what he does. He's not purely evil, is he? He's just.
I want an island that opens up and it's got rockets and stuff.
I want an island. Yeah. That's a good side effect of being a villain. If you a big powerful villain, if you've got and a big laser.
A big laser. Yeah.
Planes. Yeah. Great stuff. What about you, Sam?
I'm lying.
He's distracted. He's talking.
Well, I'm being distracted by my daughter here. Go away, or do you want to join in that? No? Okay. Right. I've had a thought about this, and I know exactly the sort of villain I want to be. And this is quite a geeky answer. Isabel, go. Go, 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 go. So, I would be...
The reluctant father villain.
I would be a villain in Earth 2. Now, there's a Grant Morrison comic,
God,
Earth
he's
2,
gonna go geek
drawn
on
by
us.
Frank Whiteley.
Right.
And what they have...
We've only got 10 minutes, Sam. We've only got 10 minutes, yeah?
Okay, I'll be as quick as I can. The basic premise of Earth 2 is that in Earth 1, where Superman and Batman all live, the heroes always win because that's the universe that they live in. This is Grant Morrison writing. And Earth 2, they're all evil. You've got the evil Superman, you've got Owlman, you've got, what's he called? Ultraman, I think, is the Superman version. And in Earth 2, the villains win. And that's the point. The whole universe is around that. So I would be a villain in Earth 2 because I would actually win. Because villains always lose, but not in Earth 2. So there you go.
Okay, so it's all about winning.
Or Doctor Doom.
Not...
I don't know. One of the two.
Oh, you stole! I wanted to be Doctor Doom. Oh, I mean, he went through a lot of crap. Let's face it. His face and all that. That's pretty bad. But he's really brainy. And I love that. I wish I could be as clever as Doctor Doom. I think that's why I'd want to be Doctor Doom. Plus, he's got a really cool outfit. And, well, he's just cool. I prefer Doctor Doom to Reed Richards. I'd rather be Doctor Doom than Reed Richards. Let's put it that way.
Everyone loves the villains. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a load of comments and questions here, so we better get to them. Where are we? From Lucy, Spike and Angel, classic. Spike, he's cool. Yeah, cooler than Angel, definitely. Yeah. Any Buffy fans here?
Back in the day, yeah.
No.
Is it appropriate for a man of my age?
Of course it is. Of course it is. I love Buffy. It's great. Anyway, Mike Allwood. Hello, Mike.
Oh, here's an interesting one from Jatinder.
Well, can I read Mike's comment first, please, Sam? Can't believe you can be so froggist. I was thinking the same, actually, Mike. You know, we've all got the evil streak in us. That's all. You know. Sorry, Sam. Go on. I'll put it on. There we are.
No. Jatinder's got a point as well. A question.
Do you think that Thunder Fallen Storm is based on a frog spore? Oh, fucking hell. No, very funny, Jatinder. He's definitely a scorpion, though, isn't he? The spawn. That's so.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I think he's more of a Taurus.
Oh God. Let's have a look. What else we got here? We've got a few now. Then can you do the? Oh God. Love Hitman and McRae. Ah, yes, that Hitman. That is a specific Hitman.
You mentioned Hitman, and I thought you meant Hitman, but then you talked about Leon.
In general, the Hitman as an archetype, really, wasn't it? Yeah, as opposed to the Hitman from Garth Ennis and John McRae. But that is a great book. I don't know about you guys. I collected every issue of Hitman. Absolutely brilliant. And now, what's she saying now? That's Tracy Island.
Oh,
yeah, I'm Bentor.
That's the island you can have. Super bad dad. That's to you, Sam, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Lucy's sending all the comments.
That's been a lot worse than that.
Yeah. Oh, well, we don't want to know. So we're nearly there with the Kickstarter, guys. You've nearly hit the target. Before we go, it might be good just to let the listeners who are on the fence about going and pledging, maybe they're watching and thinking, I want to pledge on this book because it looks really good. As well as the book, what other goodies are on offer?
Oh, we've got something really cool with issue 2. Everyone who backs it gets a colouring sheet that Adam's designed with characters and things from the comic, and you can just have that. You can colour it in. But if you want to colour it in and then email back to us your colourings, you get entered into a competition to win all sorts of goodies, original arts, and books and all sorts of stuff. What else have we got?
At what your levels are. Your Kickstarter levels are.
Yeah.
So you got Kickstarter levels.
Is that a thing?
We
pledge £1 or more. Just basically give you cash. That's good.
Yeah,
belief is everything. Come on, all you fellow Scorpions, give us your money.
Oh, that's good. Only £3 for the digital copy and a name on the front. That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Everyone gets thanked. Yeah.
No, that's nice. And what we got for £5?
£5. So, do these include the postage, or what are you looking for postage levels?
The postage
depends where you live, doesn't it?
I can't remember off the top of my head. This doesn't include the postage. Postage is added on. I mean, it's very reasonable here in the UK. It's a little bit more expensive elsewhere.
Yeah, US postage is killing us on Kickstarter at the moment.
Oh, God, for any postage abroad, I sell comics on Amazon, eBay.
It's a nightmare.
And I'm not sending stuff abroad now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think all of us UK Kickstarter people, if we were able to sell more to abroad without these ridiculous postage charges, then I think everyone would be probably doing even better than they are.
Yeah, sure.
It's not just that; it's tax as well now. You have to pay tax.
VAT on comics. It's ridiculous.
Well, no, you do know anything. No, anything that goes into the EU now from outside the EU, you have to pay tax. So, or rather, you don't, but the buyer does.
The
So,
buyer does. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so sending stuff to the EU now is becoming,
a
impossible.
shitter.
It's ridiculous.
So
yeah.
I mean, I will ask. How have you guys dealt with that? Have you just said to the buyers, this is what you might have to pay tax. This is the way it is, or have you incorporated it into your charges, or
Tried to incorporate it into the charges.
Right.
With to be honest, we lost a bit of money on the first LONGPIG
Right.
because of the postage.
Yeah.
Hopefully that won't happen again. But I mean, we pretty much came even, and it's all doable. But yeah, it does make it very much more difficult. I mean, myself, I don't tend to back a fraction of what I used to on Kickstarter because I can't afford the postage on books coming from the USA or something.
Yeah. I mean, I've had to say no to a couple of books I
Yeah.
really wanted to get.
Yeah.
But it was a book. There was one book I was looking at recently from a friend who publishes in the US, who's a great artist, someone I'm a massive fan of, and I wanted to buy the book. It was only $3 to buy the book, but then it was $14 to get it here to the UK. I just can't justify, as much as I love him, as much as I love his work, I can't justify paying $17 for a $3 book.
No,
it's just no way, and that's a shame because we're all in the UK. We're also missing out on the American stuff. They're missing out on our stuff.
Totally.
It is a shame. Anyway,
But you can always buy it digitally, though.
Yes, that is the beauty of the digital offer, and it is only £3, isn't it, Graham?
It is, yeah.
So if you are in America watching this and you're like, I want to read this book, you can get the digital version for £3, which is about $4 and a bit. So it's not, it is.
And then you don't have postage as well, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's the point I'm making, Sam.
And I should before we run out of time, I should give a shout out to Andy Bloor as well, who put the comic together for us.
Good old Andy, great designer.
Adam brought in Alyosha and Cam Reynolds as well, and then Andy got in touch with me and said he could do design work for us, and it's brilliant. So the book wouldn't look as great without him as well.
Look, there's Andy. I recognised Andy Bloor's. Where is it down here?
He did a print for us. Yeah.
Ah, right. Oh yeah, I did see some artwork.
Yeah.
Where's the print? There we go. There we go.
There it is.
Oh yeah, instantly.
Oh
Yeah.
That's
Andy.
So distinctive. Andy's work is just instantly recognisable, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's got
It
shades
really
of
is.
Kelly Jones, don't you think?
Sorry.
Shades of
Shades
Kelly
of
Jones.
Kelly. Yes,
Yeah.
I see.
Not-
I would never.
Not
seen that.
Stereophonics Kelly, but
Yeah.
the other one.
I'd never seen that, but now you said it, I instantly can see it.
Right.
Obviously, there's a different. Kelly's work is a little bit more mannerist, a little bit more, stylized, but definitely, I can see what you mean. Yeah, but it's lovely.
To go on a tangent, we're talking about Kelly Jones, and I recently reread Seasons of the Mist by Sandman. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's
I
very nice.
listened to the audiobook. The audiobook, of Sandman. They did the Seasons of the Mist story, so I went back and reread it, and that's just so good. Absolutely. I mean, we had Kelly Jones on a few weeks ago. Did you even talk about Sandman? I mean, he's got such a big.
He's done so much. I think we did mention. I think I mentioned Sandman when I did my audio podcast with Kelly. But yeah, when we had him on the show, we talked about so much. It was a long show. I think we went on for about an hour and a half, or about 2 hours maybe. It was just so interesting talking to the man. He's so delightful to talk to. We've got one last comment. Then we will sort of call it a night because we've nearly done the hour. From Jatinder, he's saying, I'm buying some of the stuff from my American friends through Amazon Print on Demand, so the postage is reduced. Whoops. Am I supposed to mention Amazon? I'm sure there are other print on demand publishers. Well, yeah, there are. I mean, Amazon are the only thing in the world that are more evil than the characters in this comic. But you know, they do supply a reasonable service. So make of that what you will.
Hey,
So
go buy something from Amazon and go and read it in a Weatherspoons. Double up.
Yeah, you'll have a job looking for redemption after that. Thank you so much, guys. One more thing I do want to ask is, you know, apart from the Kickstarter, where can people find you and your art? Adam, where, if people want to find you and look at your art, are you available for commissions? Blah blah blah. Do the promo.
Yes, I am. Adam _ Jakes. Hello. I'm sorry. There you go. Yeah, Adam _ Jakes _ comic _ art on Instagram. Yeah, I'll take. Yeah, I got excited there. It just sort of it's balanced on top of my wife's laptop, which I can't use for this for some reason. So yeah, hence the catastrophe there. Yeah, I'll take commissions. I used to do an awful lot of work. I just haven't had much come in lately. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's surprising because your work is fantastic, mate. But at least you're busy doing comics. That's
yes, I'm doing what I love at the moment. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Cinder. Thanks for the comment. And Graham, if people want to find you
Cinder.
online.
And thanks to everyone who's commented today. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, it has. It has been really good fun. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Graham, where can people find you online, mate?
Yeah, I'm on the usual social media. You can find me. I should just say, because Mike Allwood popped up earlier, there's a Comic-Con where I will be with LONGPIG at Taunton Library, Evasion Comic-Con, 27th of November.
All right.
And then next year, hopefully get back to some cons. Obviously, ICE is happening end of next year.
Yeah.
So we'll be out selling then, and we should. I don't know what issue we'll be on by then.
Oh God, you'll be able to trade paperback out by then, mate,
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the story develop, guys. It's fantastic. If you're watching this, get out there, pledge on the Kickstarter, people. LONGPIG is absolutely brilliant. You've seen the artwork, you've seen how brilliant it is. We've told you how terrible the people in the story are. If you like your characters morally, I'm not going to say ambiguous because they're damn right evil. If you like that sort of stuff, you're going to love this book.
So they're sort of evil.
Yeah, they're sort of evil.
But you can really sympathise with their hunger.
Yeah, they're nice to each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know. All right, then, guys. Thank you ever so much for tonight.
Thank you very much. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure.
It's been great to talk to you. Thank you. Sam, play that VT and let us out, mate. All the best.